Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Father Peter Fink. I am a retreat director at Ignatius House here in Atlanta. The topic for today is the God of Deliverance. One of the many ways of speaking of God and how God may manifest God's self in our own lives. We know, and it says such so often in the Bible, that God is beyond all the names we can give him. Yet we take the things of our human life and our human way of speaking and place them as hints and clues that might lead us more deeply into a relationship with the one who is beyond them all. In my office at Ignatius House and my room here in Decatur, I have a whole collection of books about God, hints and clues that hope to lead us into the mystery, such as the humanness of God, which focuses not only on Jesus, who is what God looks like when God chooses to become human, but on the fact that we humans can speak to our God in human terms, and God will understand. Or the glory of God, which focuses on the God of creation who invites us into the wonders that are beyond anything we can imagine. Or the silence of God, when God chooses not to speak, at least not as we ask him to speak. The God of Deliverance invites us beyond the language of deliverance into the one who says, I will be with you always. Sometimes I like to speak of deliverance light, where we turn to God in the many needs that can inflict us in life. And that wonderful phrase in the psalm, answer me in your generous love, in your great love, answer me. My child is sick. Answer me. I've lost my job. Answer me. My marriage is failing. Answer me. We're unable to conceive a child. Answer me. When I say deliverance light, I am not dismissing the importance of such cries for deliverance. None of the things mentioned, and none of the many more cries of the heart that could be mentioned, are trivial. And as a first step in the journey, to place such cries before God is an excellent first response to the God who is always with us. But the problem that the church has always had to deal with is that sometimes the response of God is that he gives us what we ask, and many times the response of God is not. And that highlights the danger simply of deliverance light. It sets limits on God. Do this and I believe. Don't do it and I ask, what's the value of my prayer? But what I mean by the phrase deliverance light is that our focus is on the things that are set before God, rather on the relationship you or I might have to the mystery that is God. If I were asked about the true deliverance, my first place to look is at Jesus as he moved from the Last Supper to the Garden of Olives. Here, deliverance is away from things looked for, and much more an invitation to trust. The key in the garden was what I call the last temptation of Jesus. No offense to Nikos Kazantzakis and his film. Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. Still, not my will, but yours be done. This is not a light moment. As Luke presents it, Jesus was sweating, like drops of water, or drops of blood rather, falling to the ground. It was his sacrificial moment, I will go wherever you lead me. And what was behind that sacrificial choice? Well, at the Last Supper, which I consider to be a Passover meal, Jesus prayed the Hallel Psalms, Psalms 113 to 118, a dialogue between God and Israel, and these psalms are filled with cries for deliverance. One of my favorites is at the end of Psalm 118. Let me quote, "In danger I called upon the Lord answered me and set me free. The Lord is with me, I am not afraid. What can mortals do against me? The Lord is with me as my helper. I shall look with triumph on my foes." Jesus surrendered into the mystery beyond all human grief, all human suffering, even death. He placed himself in the world of trust, and his trust was absolute. In all that would happen, the Lord will be with me. I will not be afraid. A full understanding of the God of Deliverance is first and foremost an invitation to trust. And trust does not come easily, and trust does not come all at once. Each time we place our needs before God, it is an advance in our own relationship with God. And that's what's important. However God may respond, his first response will always be, "I will be with you always." And the expectation of the one we trust will always be toward glory, not defeat, if we trust. So, how shall we approach the God of Deliverance? By all means, approach him with obedience light. We have needs, and it is right and just to set them before God. But don't let the need we set before God become a bargaining chip. Rather, let it share in Christ's surrender. Not my will, but yours be done. The God of Deliverance wants your trust, wants your surrender to his will. And that God will do for you whatever is right and just. So, blessings, folks. Open your hearts now in trust, particularly as we approach the season of Lent. Let Lent unfold around you, and let the prayer of trust be the source of your own deliverance. Peace.